Hello, I'm just in the door. Well, this is my second video, so I'm not just in the door. I said I'd do a quick video on rolls, which is a kind of ornament. Please, if you don't understand something or you think, why did you do it like that? Send me a message, it's fine. Just don't be like really completely mean. Okay, so what does a roll sound like? If you want to learn a roll, you probably already know, but just for the sake of argument, this is a roll. So I'm ornamenting the note, which is a B, first finger on the A string. So if I put that in a tune, it'd be like... There's another one there. Oh no. Just ignore the other mistakes. This is the roll. I'm doing a bit of a slide into the roll, so the actual roll is... Right, you can't really see all of the movement because it's so fast and cool that it just can't be picked up by the film. Anyway, so I spent so long learning how to do rolls, and what worked for me, which hopefully can save somebody else, at least one other person, the hard work and irritation, was I did two things at the same time. And then of one of those things that I did two things at the same time. So you'll understand what I mean in a minute. Right, so the first concept that's the easiest to understand is that you've got 5 notes, right? So you're ornamenting the B, and you think of it as a B, but really it's 5 notes. So you've got your B, and really, really fast, you go like this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so 5 notes sounds like a lot. We can cut that right down. Right, so that's your first concept. Anyway, 5 notes. You just try. This is what I did and it didn't work. You just play. That's as fast as I could get. But that does help. Get as fast as you can with that. Don't spend more than like absolute maximum an hour, half an hour, trying to get it faster. If you can get up to that kind of speed, that's getting there. And you want to be getting the feel of, you know, like if you touch a hot plate and you're like, it's like snap back. You're not putting too much effort in, but you're just doing it as fast as you can. Make those fingers move really fast. So it becomes one action in your brain. Instead of da-na-na-na-na, you go diddling, diddling. And that's how you think of it. It's like, oh, I'm doing a roll, not I'm doing da-na-na-na-na. Because that's like 5 more things than you need to be thinking about. Right, so let's assume you've gone through that process. You've got to the end of the road with the do-do-do-do-do thing. Then, right, this requires you to learn another kind of ornament, which I'm going to presume that you know how to do. And I might go into more detail on that in another video, okay, for Debbie. These are all for Debbie, by the way, Debbie. Okay, so you're going to do a cut. So a cut is when, cut a long story short, if you like that, you're playing a note and you just break the vibration with a higher finger. You just go cut, ding. Now, when you're playing the violin, you learn to play a note. You need to put down your finger. So you think of putting down your finger as playing a note, as a different note. Okay. You're not really going to play a note. You're just going to damp the vibration just quickly enough to get a kind of a pop. And then it goes back to the note again because your finger lifts off. So what you're kind of doing is like, if I play a B, I hope you can see this properly. And then I just touch down. You hear how grainy and horrible that is? That's because I'm not pressing down with that third finger. Because that's harder, it takes more time and effort. You just want to touch the string. So can you see how my finger is reaching out like that and it's not curled around how you would play a D or a third finger? So that's a D. This is what you're going to do with your cut. It's kind of like a weird harmonic-y thing. So you're going to kind of tap like this. Practice tapping the string. Can you hear that? I don't know if it'll pick it up on there. You're tapping the string, but you're not pushing it down. It doesn't really move onto the fingerboard. The string doesn't get pushed down, but it does get kind of stopped from vibrating. So if I do that faster now, I'm going to tap. Can you hear that? It's like a horrible hunting horn kind of sound. Just make it faster, so you go. That's fine, that's a cut. So you can do those, you can use those in different places to get different effects, all of which I've stolen from other people. And I think once or twice or 3 times have I ever kind of done something by accident and then gone, oh, I can use that. Doesn't really happen, not with me. Right, so there's the cut. You've got the cut. We're going to use that in the 5-note thing, okay? So hold on to that. Then we're going to do what I call, because it doesn't really have a name, a pull off, which is where you're playing a B, you're pressing down to play a proper note, a B, and you just lift in a similar way to how you damp the sound. You don't have to lift your finger off the string because you're not playing an A. The way that rolls are taught, it's kind of like as if you're playing an A because you lift your finger off, but you don't need to lift it all the way off. You just have to stop the vibration again. That sounds a bit like a hunting horn as well. So you see that? If I do it like this, you need a really weird angle. I haven't got a fancy camera, I've just got a laptop. I'm not giving up yet. Where's that finger gone on the camera? I can't think. Right. Can you see the string move? But I'm still touching it. That's what you want. So the string comes back up. You're not pressing it down to make a B anymore, but you haven't removed your finger. That's basically what it is. So have a go at doing those. That's better. The last 3 that I did were kind of get it as efficient as you can, because when you have to do something in milliseconds, just like moving like a few millimeters less makes a big difference. So you've got your pull off, and then you've got your cut. Now I'm doing a big motion with my hand when I play rolls, which is really inefficient. Previous what I've just said. I've seen people do rolls and you can kind of see the fingers move a little bit. You can hardly see anything happening. They can do them a lot kind of crisper and they can learn them quicker, and it takes them less time to incorporate them into the music, because it's just, if you ever see someone play really, really, really fast, which is not something that I'm particularly into at the moment, but it's always nice to have the option. Their fingers they're not kind of like this. They're like, the fingers don't move where they don't need to go right up. Right, so, I've gone off on a side tangent again, haven't I? Right, back to the roll. You've got your pull up, or pull offs even. Pull ups are nappy, isn't it? Right, pull offs. And then you cut. Right, here comes the really cool bit that someone told me, right? Just try and do them at the same time and you won't be able to manage it, but that's what you want. So you're kind of tricking your brain into pulling them really, really, really close together, closer than you could intentionally do one after the other. So you want the cut before the pull off. Oh God, stop calling it a pull-up. Right, so, and then when you get them closer together, eventually you'll just feel this kind of ease in your fingers, and you'll keep listening. When you hear one that you're like, ooh, that was a good one, try and recreate that and try and get this feedback between what you're hearing and what your fingers are doing, so that you're like training your fingers with your ear, because that's pretty much like every fiddle thing that I've ever learned is training your fingers with your ear. So you get that roll and you practice it, and then you can be all pleased with yourself and you can put it in where you want the roll, and you probably put roll on every note that you can possibly get away with. You need a fairly long note to get a roll into the time, because remember, traditional music, there's not really as many rules, but you've got to have the timing and the rhythm can't be messed up too much. You've got to have enough room. You can't kind of go, oh yes, I was just playing a tune. You know what I mean? You've got to find the right place to put the rolls in, without it affecting the pace of the tune and the way the tune is going along. And then you've just learnt first finger rolls. There's also second finger rolls and third finger rolls. Now, what makes it a second finger roll is that you're ornamenting a second finger note. So it's pretty much the same. You don't get as much of a pop because you're not releasing on the pull-offs. You're not getting an open string, so you don't get a pop as much. It's not as nice sounding. So if I play second finger and then first finger, you tend to get more first finger notes ornamented in tunes anyway, and you also get a lot of third finger notes ornamented. Third finger, you have to use the fourth finger to do a cut above. Mine are not great. The G string is really hard on the third finger. That's like the hardest string to do rolls on, because you're pushing and pulling around with the thicker string, and it just takes that little bit more energy and strength. See, that's not, I need to practice that third finger roll. So it's not too bad. Once you've learnt it, it's an idea to practice them till they become like second nature. I don't think I've practiced mine for years, and I can still do first finger rolls. If I have a new tune that I learn and I want to put a third finger roll in, I'll just practice it until I can do it again. It's not that much of an issue. I think that's pretty much it, really. Except to say, if you're doing, the first finger roll, okay, because you're just cutting the sound and you're not playing a note, it doesn't matter if you do it with the second finger. That's a first finger roll with a second finger cutting, or a third finger. You could even do a fourth finger, but I don't even want to try because it's like, it feels wrong on my hand. I think the first and third fingers on my hand tend to work together, and it's a good kind of angle away from the first finger to do that turn like that, the turn of your hand like this. And the second finger, it's like a bit too close, you can't get as much strength in. I don't think you can anyway, I can't do it. So it doesn't matter which finger you use to cut, basically. You're just stopping the vibration. Hope that's useful and not too confusing. Thank you very much. Thank you, Debbie. Bye.